Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Engineering Made Simple. Now starting from today I am going to start a lecture series on computer communication networks. The course will be covered as per the revised syllabus of Mumbai University. Now as this is our first lecture, first I will give a brief introduction to the subject. Now that is lecture 1, Introduction. In this lecture we will learn what do you mean by computer communication networks and the important terminologies related to the subject. Now, let us move on to understand what is a communication network and what do you mean by computer communication networks. Now, as you all know, the functioning of modern communication networks, simplest example that we use in our day-to-day life is the internet is a very complex process as it involves the study of various subsystems which interact with each other to form what is called as communications network. Now next. Now, if you want to oversimplify the term communication networks, all that we can say is that communication network that consists of only computers, then it is called as computer communications network. Although this in practical case cannot be the definition of a communication network, as a communication network consists of many network elements. Now, as everyone has a Wi-Fi or router at home, now all our communication devices, that laptops, PCs, smart TVs, form a wireless personal area network. But but only computers are not part of this element, and the router is used as access point. So it is a communication network which is related to the wireless personal area network, that is WPAN. It is also a communication network, but more exact definition of it is communication network. But if you oversimplify it, considering only two computers connected to each other via LAN cable or wireless network, then we can call it as a computer communication network. Now, in fact, the subjects should have been called data communication and networking, as we have studied in our subject in digital electronics in the second semester of Mumbai University, that two electronic components communicate with each other with by means of data in the form of data bits, that is the binary digits. So basically, if two digital electronic devices want to communicate with each other, they can communicate with each other by only means of data, as they don't understand human language. Now, what is the purpose of studying this course as an electronics and telecommunications engineer? The purpose of this course is to get an overall picture of how modern day communication networks function and what are the protocols. By protocols I mean set of rules that govern their interaction. Now the important terms related to this subject are important terms. Now what do you mean by data? Data means information that is presented in whatever form, that is the form of the data, which is agreed by the sending party as well as the receiving party. That means the formats which are data formats which are agreed by the sender and the data formats which are accepted by the receiver, that is known as data, information or message in our subject. The second important definition related to this is protocol. A protocol is a set of rules that govern data communications or the communications between the two network elements, or yes, two network elements. Now it represents an agreement between the communicating devices. Without protocols, two devices can be connected with each other but cannot communicate with each other. So this is an important terminology when we are studying computer communication networks, or there is one more subject in your engineering that will come in the 8th semester, which is known as wireless networks. So in that also we study various protocol stacks and all those things. Now third important term is network models. What are network models? Computer networks are created by different entities or different companies, uh, uh, and standards that are needed so that these heterogeneous networks can communicate with one another are known as network models. The two best known models are OSI model and internet model. The OSI model, internet model, TCP/IP model, and the various other models we are going to study in detail in the further course of this subject. Now, another important definition is standards. Standards. Now, what are standards? Now, here we are talking about designing network elements or communication networks or devices that indulge in modern day communication networks. Now, we want to design these devices in such a fashion that it should function in heterogeneous networks. Now, standards give this. So, each and every country or a specific standard organization has certain rules and regulations which allow interoperability between the networks. Now, that is what is given here. Standards are essential in guaranteeing national and international interoperability of communication technology and processes, and they give also manufacturers and guidelines to manufacturers vendors for the manufacturing of network devices, network hardware and software, such as your NIC card, network interface card, and various LAN cards, LAN cables, and other devices that are involved in network communication, data communication networking. Now, examples of these standards are IEEE standards, ITU-T standards, FCC standard, or International Standard Organization. Next, frames. Now, frames, a group of data bits is known as frame. It is basically unit of data transmission, that is digital transmission unit. It also contains user data and also the timing and synchronization information. Now, you might have studied the concept of framing in your digital communication subject also. Now, what are packets? A packet is a formatted unit of data which is transmitted over a packet switched network. A packet usually consists of user data or control information. Now, flow control, this is also a definition which is going to be used in terminology or concept which is going to be used extensively throughout this course. Now, what is flow control? If a sender, there is one sender and there is one receiver. The sender has some data to send and receiver's job is to receive it. But if the sender keeps on sending the data which the receiver is not capable of receiving it, so in order to, there should be proper control between the data which is sent from the receiver and data which the receiver can receive in any point of time is given by the flow control mechanism. Now, let us understand it this way. If the rate at which data is absorbed by the receiver, the data received by the receiver is less than the rate at which the sender is sending it, then flow control mechanism is done at the data link layer to prevent the overwhelming of receiver. By overwhelming of receiver, it means that if the sender is going on sending data packets and the receiver is overloaded or overburdened while receiving it, so the appropriate flow control mechanism is used at the data link layer of the device, communications device. Now, what is data link layer and all, you will come to know when we will do the OSI model. Now, physical topology. The term physical topology refers to way in which a network is laid out physically is called as topology. Topology gives a geometric representation of all links and linking devices, that is the communication devices, how they are communicated with each other and how the network looks geometrically. Now, everybody must be familiar with bus, ring, star topologies, etc. So that is nothing but the physical topology in which the network, how the network is laid out. Next, peer-to-peer processes. The processes on each machine, that is a communication device that communicate with various layers, is known as peer-to-peer processes. Now, what is this peer-to-peer process? We will come to know exactly when we will study the OSI model. Segmentation and reassembly. Now, whenever we have a message or data to send, we will send it into a series of transmittable segments, and each segments will have a sequence number. Now, these numbers which are given to the various transmittable segments, that is messages sequence number, will enable the transport layer to reassemble the message correctly at the destination, that means at the receiver. They will be reassembled again, and while transmission they will be segmented into different transmittable segmentation, and the sequence number also will help to replace the packets that were lost in transmission. This concept will be also clear to you when you will study the OSI model. Now, network. This is the basic definition. A network or a communication network is a group of connected communicating devices, that is nodes such as computer networks, routers. Now, another important term that we are going to study is a client. A client is a piece of computer hardware or software that accesses a service made available by a server. Now, a client is sometimes also called as a host computer. Now, next, server. A server is a computer that provides data to other computers. It may serve data to systems on a local area network LAN or a wide area network over the internet. Many types of servers exist, including web servers, mail servers, and file servers. Each type runs software specific to the purpose of the server. Now, let us say to understand server for an example, we consider when you use the internet, you type www.google.co.in. Now, the request will be sent to the web server of Google, and the web page will be displayed accordingly. Now, your PC is the client in this case, and server is the web server which is present at the Google data center. And next term is encapsulation. Encapsulation simply means the technique in which data unit from one protocol is placed within the data free portion of the data unit of another protocol. Now, in order to understand this concept, we need to understand one more thing, that network engineers or designers which design various network hardware and softwares develop certain network models. Now, these network models consist of various layered architectures. Now, according each layer performs a certain amount of network or networking functions. Now, what these network layers will do is that when once the data from one layer is available to the another, so it will add some information of its own, such as headers and trailers and all those things. So that is nothing but known as encapsulation. So you can see here it is given that a data unit which traverses from one protocol is placed within the data free portion of the another protocol, that is from one layer to another. When data transmits through the network model or network layer architecture, each layer will add a certain amount of data or control or header or trailer related information, which will help in transmission of the data unit from one network to another. So that is nothing but data encapsulation. So the textbooks which I will like to recommend for this subject are: first one is Data Communication and Networking by Forouzan, Tata McGraw-Hill Publishers. Second is TCP/IP Protocol Suite 4th edition by the same author. Third is Communication Networks, Fundamental Concepts and Key Architectures by Garcia and Indra Vidjaja, Tata McGraw-Hill Publishers. Now, in the next lecture, we will learn Open System Interconnect Model. Now, with this, we come towards the end of today's lecture. Now, if you like this video, please do like, share and subscribe my channel. Click on the bell icon to get notification of all my latest upload. And one more thing I would like to share is that please let me know in the comment section which topics you want to be covered in this lecture series. Also, if you want lectures on other subjects, please also use the comment section and give me the appropriate feedback, so that I can make videos according to your requirements. Thank you.